Hello, everybody. If anybody's here,
I'm here.
Mrs. Spec is here.
I'm always here.
Gato Spec is not here, but give him time.
Well, Steven Andrews was here.
Yes, but
So
he says, well, keep reading.
they say, "Oh, that makes Spec," and Dan Eboyd was here.
hmm
And they say, "Can you at least show Gato Spec's face?"
So I put Gato Spec on the thumbnail for this live. So if anybody wants to see what Gato Spec looks like, go to the thumbnail.
Um, um, uh, wait up there. But again, Andrews says, "Hi, Mason Spec. FYI, the Dutch crash started 45 minutes late."
Okay, so he'll be here 45 minutes late.
Dan says, "Okay, I see orange on him. Yeah, he has a little bit of orange on his head
Just a little.
and just a little bit on his tail."
hmm
Mr. Specs, we'll be here when you're ready. Uh, Jay is here. He says hello.
Jay was here.
Was here. Mike N is here.
Hello, Mike.
Fernando's still here.
Hello, Steven.
Also
You
Dan.
you can go to Dead Dog's Garage. We'll wait for you.
Also Dan. And Firefly.
Hello, Dan.
The Firefly is clinging to an orange chicken puff. Oh, so good.
Hello, Vilefly. We have chicken. We don't have the orange. And we don't have the puff.
I'm eating grapes right now. Thinking about dinner. Mike N says HVAC went out today. The temp today was 96.
Wow.
Gonna be hot night.
Are you sure you don't live next door to us, Mike? Because that's
Oh.
pretty much what we got here. And it gets way down to like 85 at night.
Did you at least have fans to help you
Yeah,
cool down?
you gotta have fans in the house.
I just bought these fans. Are really cheap, but
Ceiling fans.
they're ceiling fans, but they plug directly to the light bulb.
They screw in where a light bulb would, and it has a remote. So it has the fan has three settings, and the light goes on and off. So now in my bedroom, instead of reaching for the light like I've done for the last 15 years, I have to look for a remote to try to turn it on.
Yeah, but it does cool you down quite a bit, and it's unfortunately quite small, so it only throws air in a
Mhm.
small area, but it does
It's
help.
an it does,
Cool.
yeah, it does help.
Yeah. Buffett is still eating the weird snacks. Fernando says, "Is that your kitty in the thumbnail?" Yes, it is.
Yes, that's Gato Spec.
Papa says, "One of the gato specs."
Yeah.
Papa says, "Buy some dry ice, Mike." Mike N says, "I'm in South Louisiana, not far away. Got fans running."
Oh, so you've got the humidity too on top of everything else, just like we do here.
Yeah.
We have the air on in the room. She didn't turn the fan on, but yeah, I'm sweating.
And Papa says, "Put a burlap bag over the dry ice and add a fan at it."
Gotta come this way. Is that on high? The fan?
Medium. Papa says, "If not dry ice, then use block of ice."
Mike, what I would do in my bedroom, because the air conditioning unit was 15 years old, so it like disintegrated. I would take one of my frozen bottles of water that's in the freezer. I would put it behind the fan that's blowing on me, so it's blowing cold air to be able to let me sleep. But and then in the morning it's melted again, and I put it back in the freezer.
Jay's Junkers is here.
Hello, Jay's Junkers. How are you, Jay? What
Let
did
me
Mike
see.
say? I've
Mike
lived.
N says, I have lived in Hypnos, no AC before. You can take it. My kids haven't stopped whining about it though. Yeah.
Tell him it's time to grow up.
Uh, Jason says hello, Mr. Spec. My says Fernando says Dead Dutch Jamie's live is still going.
Well, go ahead. You can stay over there, or have us both going. Whatever. I'm not gonna ask why Jamie went on 45 minutes late.
Fernando too is here.
Hello, Stephen Andrews too. We appreciate both of you. You have two eyes. You can watch one with one eye and one with the other.
How do you know he has two
Your
eyes?
brain's not going to appreciate it, but still. You could get the pictures going.
Didn't I? I thought I did.
No.
I pressed the button. I did press
I don't think you pressed the right button.
I did press the button.
Jay says, doing well. I entered my van into its first car show today. Really? You got it all straightened out, running well and everything? I've been wanting a van for a long time. A long time. And the Dodge is the one to have for me. Because for the 70s vehicles, 60s and 70s, it was always Ford cars, Chevy trucks, Dodge vans. That's what I liked. You can't beat a 70s round eye square body for a truck. Definitely not.
Well, like I said, I learned all kinds of ways to keep cool in the shop. Yeah. Oh, this is nice. Fernando says he was stuck in traffic coming home from his grandma's memorial service.
Oh, that's too bad. Why is everybody dying?
It happens.
At least we're still here. For now. Yeah. So I'm surprised he even went live anyway, because that's draining. Something like that. The emotions and the having to, take care of your family with their emotions too.
Maybe he needed something normal
to get his mind off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Jay Junker says the van runs good now. Wants to shut off when the engine isn't warmed up though.
Yeah, that's because it's a Chrysler product, and you live in a cold place. I have 8 cars, I think, 8 or 9 cars, and one of them has fuel injection, which is the 2000 Durango. The rest, there's not a working choke among the carburetors, but we don't need it here. I could go out in the middle of the night, give it 2 pumps, and it starts right up. So that's the kind of warmth that we have here, the coldness. Even in the winter time, it doesn't really work.
Fernando says dedicated lad that Jamie.
Yep.
Barclay says the joke needs adjusting or the fast item.
Yeah, Biofly, he said when the engine isn't warmed up. So when he just starts it and it's cold. So yeah, the choke needs adjusting. But there is still no guarantee it's going to stay running unless you're in there feathering the pedal. I've driven carbureted cars all my life. It's just my foot just knows what to do to keep it running. I don't even think about it anymore. But like I said, my 63 Plymouth Savoy with the 1 barrel on the slant 6, you can go out there any time of the year. There's no choke on the carburetor. It doesn't never been hooked up. It just starts and runs.
Baba says when the engine is cold, the choke plate would only be lightly closed enough to deflect when you bounce the pencil on it. Dan says I dig them
too.
I dig them to hatchbacks since they were new.
This one isn't the best, but with a little TLC, because it does have the manual, it does have the nice seats, the bumpers look like they need to be adjusted and stuff like that, but it could be a nice car. I don't like when people take out the speedometers and put other gauges in the dash, though. That would have to go.
Since it's best to wheels here too.
I gotta start watching old episodes of Charlie's Angels. That's what I have to do.
Okay. CD Burlock is here.
Hello, CD Burlock.
And they say carburetor can do better mileage in contest.
It depends who's driving it.
Stray Bullet is here.
Hello, Stray Bullet. See, he says, hi, Spec family. That covers you, me, and the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Got those Spec. Which he's outside right now because he's smarter than we are. cooler out, a little bit cooler out there.
Yeah. I went to close the door and it was very cool. It's cool out there. Believe in yourself is here?
Hello, believe. Did you close the door in the
So,
kitchen?
yeah.
Okay. So I
Believe
don't have to
says
kill so many
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes in the house.
Believe says hello, Mr. and Mrs. Spec. Danny wouldn't chat.
Steve Leto didn't have a live this morning, or I missed it. I'm not sure which.
Buffalo says that's because of the temperature drop it creates, City Bulldog. City Bulldog says nice band. What band? What brand?
You're asking Jay's Junkers, CD Burlock.
City Bulldog says did everyone wish President Trump a happy birthday today? No, no more,
No,
no more
I
politics.
don't know anything of, didn't hear anything about it.
I'm gonna go to sleep because politics.
I went into a Dodge dealership when this Shadow convertible was new, and sat in the car, and I'm looking for the switch for the top. I asked the salesman, "Where's the switch?" He says, "It's not an electric top." But are you kidding? I'm not going to buy a car with a manual top, especially for what they wanted for it.
Believe says I had my '87 Shadow Turbo Airborne once. Was lucky I didn't flip it.
When I worked at the Chevy dealer, this was 1987, so that was the first year for the Shadow, and the guy that was our sales manager moved over to a Dodge dealership, and he brought a brand new Shadow over, and parked it on the used car lot. And he said it's a hatchback. I look at the car and said that is not a hatchback. He says yes, it's a hatchback, and he opened the hatch, and the whole trunk and window went up. Like, oh my god, it is a hatchback. Seems like a waste of space for them to design it like that. It looks like it has a trunk, but it's actually a hatchback. But that's the way they did it.
Jason says it's 1979 Dodge P200.
Which means it's a 3/4 ton.
So it says that's not politics. It's his birthday. Yeah, but that's how you start. That's how you guys start.
Just relax.
It says an approved testing method of testing. Yeah, and believe. Trouble says, did I miss the Datsun pickup?
Not yet, but it's randomized, so I don't know when it's coming up.
Liz says to
If you want next time, I'll double and triple up on the picture so it looks like there's more pictures, and I'll flip them around so it looks like that it's facing the other way for you.
Believe says to Butterfly 60 miles per hour over a very smooth railway crossing on the way to smelt fishing. Smelt fishing? What is smelt fishing?
I think smelt is a fish.
Okay.
Come up with all kinds of crap to put in their beetles. I guess I forgot to turn this picture around. It looks like you're going to sit on the seat and you're facing the headliner.
Mm-hmm. Like Believe when he was going over.
Yeah. You see the most unbelievable part is he had a shadow up to 60 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Well, says the days of temporary invincibility.
Yeah. I still have that Firefly.
No. Chevrolet says we need more Datsun pickup truck pictures.
I can ask for more and have them in reserve. See, now here's a fisherman that says something that us unfishermen people would not understand. Smelts run in the spring thaw. If you find a good spot, you just scoop them up in a bucket. And as far as I know, fish do not have legs and feet to be running anywhere. So that's something that a fisherman would understand.
Liv says it was a turbo shadow 5 speed.
Okay, so maybe the turbo helped you get up to 60 miles an hour.
Martha says, let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
We all have stories, Wildflower. We all have stories of those days. Getting away with things that you would not get away with today, or that kids would not get away with today. I think there's a whole lot more cops around, and they take you in or give you tickets for the stupidest little things.
There's also more population.
Yeah.
There's less places to do things in. Somebody says we have Delta smells in California. Alpha says yes, but we should all lead with that phrase.
Yeah.
Somebody says they are a highly protected species. Oh.
Yeah. Everything is in California except for humans. More monitoring being done now. Yes, Wildfly. I remember being in high school and hanging out with my friend who now lives in Florida, and he lived in a much richer neighborhood than I did. And I cannot remember exactly where this park was, but it was a park that had cement, um, like a not a trail, but like cement winding through the park. It's like to walk on it.
On trail.
And yeah, and some of us, we were in his car, his Coronet, and some other of his friends would it was like 12 at night, just at full speed driving down this trail, curving around, coming back. That would not be allowed to happen. That would not happen now.
Definitely run over homeless people.
There were no homeless people. There were no homeless people back then. Not in that area. They were not allowed. They stayed in Skid Row in Los Angeles.
So, but is this a sidewalk?
Kind of, but it was much wider. The cars fit on it. Even the Coronet, which is a pretty wide car, a 73 Coronet, 4-door. Of course, if it was a 2-door, it would be a Charger, but it's not. It was a 4-door Coronet. Because I would do little things in auto shop on the car, and then I would take them out and say, okay, it's fixed, whatever, and I would start the car, take it out of park, put it in drive, and just drive. And he's like, no, I'll show you how to drive the car. He starts it up, puts it all the way down in first, puts the pedal to the floor, shifts it into second, shifts it into drive. Next time he stops, shifts it back into first, shifts it into second, shifts it into drive. That's how we drove the car all the time, manually shifting the automatic transmission. Ugh.
Pablo says no homeless people in the suburbs or outside in the 70s, just New York and LA.
Well, we were LA County. We were not I was not in Los Angeles, but this was a well-to-do area, and there were no homeless people around there. It wasn't even a thing at all. And if one did show up, they would be taken care of right away. They would be removed. It's just become acceptable now. For them to be around and do everything that they do. And all the taxpayers around them are paying for them to be able to do it.
Pablo says just protesters.
We didn't even have protesters in our area. Like they would protest in not downtown LA, but in the minority areas in Los Angeles. They burned their neighborhood down a couple of times in the '60s, and then the Rodney King thing, when the officers were found not guilty, they did the same thing again.
Pablo says nice truck.
Yeah, you gotta like orange though.
What is that symbol in the seat?
International Harvester. But if you look at it, it looks like a tractor. There's the guy sitting on the tractor with his little head, and the H is the two wheels that are coming at you. I don't know if that's the original dashboard or somebody just put a bunch of gauges in there. I don't know. I don't really see any turn signal lights or anything. Those look like screws.
They're like rivets to me. So it says we buy their drugs and drug paraphernalia for them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pablo says, "What's riots and Rodney King riots?" Yep.
Yep. When the Rodney King things kicked off, I was in Las Vegas, and I knew that my father was flying in from wherever he was into LAX, which is right where everything was happening. So I didn't know what was happening with him. If he was getting through that and he actually got home.
So it's definitely not original.
No, but upgraded. I'm gonna guess it's more drivable this way, but I can't really say this is an attractive looking truck with its design. But it's different. What?
Oh my god. It reminds you of anything?
Yes, of which we will not discuss. So
Mm.
Chris from New York is not here, but he saw all these Volkswagens yesterday. This is a very early one with the turn signals way down in the on the front fenders. Kind of like what Mexico did later, putting the turn signals in the bumpers right down there.
Jeff Homan is here.
Hello, Josh.
Samantha says, "Okay, DDG is out. You have my undivided attention."
Okay, so bring both of your eyes back to center so you can focus on just one screen then.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Hoof hearted, ice melted. Yeah, Stray Bullet. It is a German Volkswagen because they hadn't. I don't think they started making. Well, they started making. I think in 1954 they started. Volkswagen came to Mexico, started making cars in Mexico because the 1994 cars were the 40th anniversary cars. So yeah. Hey Steven, do you think Jamie would be really upset with this car? Look at the front of this Duster. What would he be upset about?
Butler, no, Samantha says, "Oh, window." Butler says, "Be right back." Dan says, "Hello, Butterfly. I recommend Weber's horseradish sauce if your Kroger's has it. It's an Ohio thing. They make mustard too. I put it on a burger and it made my eyes water." Jeff Hutchinson is here.
Hello, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Wow,
102.
102 in Oregon, way up there in Oregon. Wow.
Wow. Dan says, "Oops." Dan says, "Red paint behind the grill."
You're right, Dan. Exactly. Exactly.
Jeff Hutchinson says, "That Valiant needs a grill blackout."
Yeah, he's talking about painting the red behind the grill. It came out of the factory black. It's
Mm.
not supposed to be red behind the grill. So obviously somebody painted this and did not know that. It's an easy fix though. And like Jamie said, close your eyes and just spray with a spray can just like they did at the factory.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to cover anything. Just do it that way and it'll look factory. Because they really didn't put much time. Although this car was made in Mexico, so maybe they had a little bit extra time to do it because they made much fewer cars.
Trouble says, Jeff must be in the Oregon desert."
I don't think he is.
Fernando says, "No blackout on the core support."
Exactly. It's an easy fix though. Pretty nice looking car. Custom interior, 76 model, which means Dodge Dart Sport in the back, Plymouth Valiant in the front. Pretty nice seats. I don't see any seat belts in it, but
Oi, what was that? What? Um, Johanna says, make sure you get runs in it to if you want OEM look.
Exactly. That's easy with your eyes closed.
Dan says, don't get it on your radiator though. There's a special paint for rats, which doesn't insulate them to death. Silverlock says, is that hot in Oregon? We expect it here. And very good here.
Hello, Barry.
Very good says, how cold does it get in the winter there, Jeff? Dan says, seatbelts are for quitters.
Then I'm a quitter
I
because
like,
I like seatbelts.
yeah. Steven Andrews says, I need to do that on my Lancer too. I forgot to remind Tom.
Hey, Kim fixes things is here.
Hey, Kim.
Hello, Kim.
Kim says, Bob has to go to sleep for early work tomorrow, but we are listening.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Even though we're in the same time zone now,
Bob plays back.
we're in the same time zone, so it's not 10:40 at least.
Triple says, that's kind of a cute little Datsun.
I don't think many of these sold. 1963, people were buying big cars like my Fury.
Dan says, I got into wearing seatbelts when I was driving my convertible.
I always put seatbelts on, always. You can ask my son what happened when he didn't have a seatbelt on in the back seat of my car. He got really, really close with the back of the front seat. He doesn't do that anymore.
Danny Boyd says, hello, Butterfly. I recommend, oh yeah, this is a message. Butterfly, Dan wants you to read the message.
Hmm. The telling kids doesn't do a darn thing because they don't listen to you anyway. But when the car stops and he hits the back of the front seat, he remembers, and he doesn't get into a car without putting a seatbelt on
Did
now.
I tell you I yelled at a transit officer once because of you?
No.
Because of that?
What?
I was walking by on a street. It doesn't really matter. But I was walking by on the street, and there wasn't much traffic, but there was a transit officer there, and a pickup truck with no roof. Like it was a pickup truck it had no roof.
Hmm.
Drove by, and it was a guy driving and a kid standing on the seats, going over
The windshield.
the windshield, and the traffic officer waved at the boy, and I went over and I yelled at him, said, "Why didn't you stop that truck? If that guy brakes hard, that kid's gonna go over the windshield and he's gonna die, and it's gonna be on you." I told him, and I just kept walking.
I bet he still didn't understand what you said.
Okay, sorry.
Firefly.
Bowfly. We have a recovering duck in our hallway. You walk past, you get quack that quietly because he's a drake. Drakes are quiet. Huh? He's recovering from what? Kim says yes, but Bob has his alarm set to 3:45 a.m. I have to keep him resting.
Yeah, I understand, Kim.
Jeff Hutchins says to Barracuda, Western Oregon is low elevation, freezing temps. Not much snow, but drive up into the Cascades a few miles and lots of snow. Eastern Oregon is just like Idaho, Montana, northern Arizona, etc. Pablo says, I'm not a
A
bit,
big.
a big horseradish fan, but I will give it a try if I can find it. Chevrolet says they didn't import very many of those axes.
No, because it was still an experiment to see if any Americans would buy any of them. They probably sold more here in Mexico.
Dan says, I was in a car which almost rolled over, unbelted in the back seat, and the passenger back door even came open, but I didn't fall down on that side.
You were just lucky.
Thunderbird is here.
Hello, Thunderbird.
Thunderbird says, good evening. Chevrolet says, horseradish is one of my favorite condiments, Firefly. I've never tried it. I have never tried it. And Dan says, Firefly, I remember you mentioning it like a year ago and picked up some Kroger's. The Weber's is stronger, I think. Silverlock says, "That's show already, very clean."
Yeah, somebody's done a job on it.
Dan says, "Punctuation." Thunderbird says, "We used to make homemade horseradish. It grows wild here." Barracuda says, "Jeff, I was watching a YouTube video recently showing desert in Oregon. I never imagined it would have terrain like that."
There, Oregon has everything. Hey Barry, here's one from your neighborhood.
Double says, "You have to try it, Mrs. Spec."
Do they even sell it here?
Yeah, the Heinz.
Well, I don't think Heinz is going to be the one you want to try, and you want to try just a little bit, not have a huge bottle, because I won't touch it.
Thunderbird says, "What's a Holden HC?"
Thunderbird, it's a Chevrolet kind of vehicle. You're going to have to ask Barry though, because that's from his neck of the wood in New Zealand.
Rafa says, "The dog cut his leg blundering out of the pen, and the flies got to it, and the maggots started eating his leg up. Oh. Got it fixed, but it was messy. The wife did all the picking as I held the dog."
How bad did it get? Is his leg gonna recover? Is he gonna be able to walk on it?
Usually maggots don't eat that. They eat only the bad stuff. Yeah.
Car's got a lot of kilometers on it.
Double says, "You don't like horseradish Mexican?"
No, I don't like anything. I don't like chili. I don't like anything like that. My condiment is ketchup. That's all I do.
What is horseradish?
What is horseradish, guys? What are the ingredients? Cocktail sauce is part horseradish. Don't know percentage. Seasoned
Barracuda
says.
says, "Wait."
I don't know what cocktail sauce is either.
Barracuda says, "I've never liked those Holdens to look at." Silver says, "Cocktail sauce is part horseradish. Don't know the percentage." Jeff Hutchins says, "Barracuda, Oregon doesn't get credit for its variety of terrain. I have been all over and always think it's been in a place in Oregon just like this. I've been in a place in Oregon just like this. Washington is almost as varied." Dean Stevenson is here,
Hey, Dean. Thanks for joining us.
and they say like 15.5 is 42 minutes late. Dean says horses.
We're not 42 minutes in. We started at 8:14, so we're 33 minutes in.
So what is it's a root. Ah, okay, wait, hold on. I don't like radishes. I may not like it. Dan says, "I made some bean burritos yesterday with onions and green salsa and Colby Jack." Robert says, "Gotta know when to hold and know when to fold them."
We all need to know that, yes, Thunderbird.
Broccoli says, "Screwworm flies eat all the flesh." Ah, okay. He lost about a teaspoon of meat from his leg.
Oh, so the injury was way far up in the meat region. Okay.
Dan says, "Refried beans." I'm hungry now. Papa says he should recover.
We're not even close. We're gonna be here for 2 hours, and everybody talks about food.
Kim says, "So stray bullet." Right, it's an ingredient. Stray bullet says, "It is not, Dean." Dean says, "Oops, 32." Papa says, "Nice boy." Dean says, 33, perfect number. Stray bullet says, "It's a condiment king." Dan says, 8:14. Is this Catholic school?
Should I know what that means, Dan? Did Catholic school start at 8:14?
No, I think it's a opening on the book of the Jesus or whatever. Dean says, "Hi, Virginia." Jeff Hutchins says, "It's not burrito if not made with real burros."
Okay, Jeff. Well, in Mexico, when a person's real stupid, they call them a burro. So it could be made with them too.
Kim says to Dean, "Hi, Dean, glad to be here." Dean says, "It's universally important, Danny boy."
I don't think I'm ever gonna sell one of these Galaxies to anybody. People want so much money for them here, and they're just not as appreciated in the U.S. as maybe a Chevrolet is. Like a four-door '63 Chevrolet will sell 10 times before one of these Fords. Hmm?
Thunderbird says horseradish is a root. When you blend it and it's exposed to oxygen, it starts to get hot. You must neutralize it with vinegar. When it's the heat you want, if you've ever had wasabi, you've had it. I've never had wasabi, but yeah, I think I know what you mean. But no, I don't like radishes. I We have radishes here, like the little red purple ones, and I don't like them. So I don't think I would like horseradish. Kim says, Barfly, that's one lucky duck. If you hadn't been there, it was curtains.
Yeah, because they would have eaten all of the flesh.
Barracuda says New Zealand is a bit varied too. I think most people overseas think it's all green and lush, but the areas I'm in is like a desert.
We all live in a desert.
Dean says it's an important number. If you have to ask, you aren't C. See, Catholic? Dan says yes, Catholic. Yes, Catholics will always start it at an odd time like that. Church services too. I sure as hell never went to any of them.
I wouldn't know.
Thunderbird says real wasabi is extremely expensive and it's only grown in Japan, so fake wasabi is made from horseradish. Oh, okay. Ralph says had to fix my mom's car. My brother's hub bearing repair went south when the nut backed off enough to let the bearing destroy itself.
That has happened to me.
Dan says I thought wasabi was beef. No, darling,
That
wasabi is a
that's a
condiment.
different. There's a different word for that. The really high-end beef.
Wagyu. Well, Firefly says the dog is a runner dog, but I think he won't run as much for a while. Mm. Is that runner dogs one of those that are skinny and stand up a lot? Like they're like really tall. Jeff Hutchins says very good at. Someday I'd like to go hunting in New Zealand. I especially want a big palmated antler red stag. Dean says don't be something face except at 314 and 159.
That would be pie-faced.
Okay. Dan says it took me a while to realize that the hub nut really does need 180 minus 200 plus
180 to 200
200 plus feet per torque or whatever.
foot pounds.
Ay, ¿por qué no lo has hecho? Robert says to Danny Boy, you're thinking Wagyu beef. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jeff says, ooh, a power wagon.
There's crazy people in Mexico too that want to drive those, Jeff.
Pablo says, super hub earrings are always rusty bastards. Jeff says, Wagyu. Yeah, Wagyu. Kim says, wasabi is that green spicy stuff? Yes. Buffalo says, Wagyu beef boy. Yes. Dan says, Thunderbird, I thought that was those connectors for electricians who are too lazy to do a proper twist. Trouble says, I can't afford even the regular beef now. Same. Thunderbird says, yes, wasabi is a green spicy sauce. Comes with things like sushi. Yep. Buffalo says, wasabi is the green nightmare on your plate sitting with evil.
It's Japan's way of getting back at the rest of the world.
Thunderbird says, haha, those are called marets, Danny boy. And Barracuda says, yep, there's no shortage of deer here. Hunters also come here for the chamois.
Chamois.
Is that how it's spelled?
I don't know. That's the color of the interior of a Fairmont. That's going to be shown here. I think it's on here. Jeff says the stray bullet. Yeah, hamburger is Wagyu prices now. For a while, we were going over this. There's a meat store not far from here buying ground beef. No matter what the cut was, whether it was 28, 80-20 or 90-10, none of it tasted good to me. Maybe I got bit by a tick and I just can't eat it. I don't know.
You would McDonald's
still tastes good.
You would have had a way worse. You would have been allergic to it, not just had a bad.
I don't know. McDonald's still tastes good though. Stephen Andrews just had a great steak that was raised literally next door. Did you know your steak's name?
Cool.
Thunderbird likes the Ford truck. Yeah, they did some work on this one. The rear wheel looks odd to me though. It's kind of sticking out at an odd angle, but
Sorry.
I'm not going to buy the truck, so.
Then says 19.99 for 3 pounds of Kroger 80/20 in the container with clear wrap. Not the cookie dough roll. Big batch of chili coming up.
No, the cookie dough roll, we have those here too from a certain company. Those are even more expensive. But we have a meat store over here, a couple of blocks away, that they'll if you want sirloin ground beef, they'll do it up for you. But even that didn't taste good to me. So it tastes a lot better, honestly. Instead of just eating it off the plate, if I have my gluten-free bread, just have it like a hamburger type thing, then it tastes a little bit better. But no, I got off ground beef completely. Just do chicken now.
Triple says it's terrible, Jeff. Thunderbird says everyone should try Wagyu once before they die. Kim says the Bob de Campo once had a huge bite of spicy wasabi because he thought it was avocado.
Ooh.
Nobody told him. Oh, that's rude.
How long did it take him to recover?
Thunderbird says wasabi is great to clear out one's sinuses. Yeah, well, chili is
There's other ways to do that too.
Buffalo says, and I'll find that if I order steak at a restaurant, it will be cheaper than if I buy it uncooked at the store.
That is possible.
Dan says, a Thunderbird, I see them called Wagos or something like that. I do actually like them for a light fixture where you've got stranded wire. They're a stab, though ultimately I'm not an electrician. Jeff Hutchins says, Barracuda, I don't know how to spell it, but they usually pronounce it Shami. I think you got it spelling correctly, though. Buffalo says, great and wasabi should not be in the same sentence. Barracuda says, there were even moose here many years ago, and the dudes, of course, it didn't suit them, and they died out. Kim says,
how did they bring moose all the way to New Zealand?
In a boat.
I mean, each one takes a huge amount of room.
In a boat.
Kim says,
Thunderbird may be effective, but not necessarily great. Thunderbird says, I get the ground beef from Costco Business Center. It's like Costco on steroids. And we get the box full of 10-pound tubes. Yeah, I've seen it on TikTok. I wish I had a Costco nearby.
They're going to build one here, but we're still not going to buy it.
Stray Bullet says, I don't know why someone doesn't buy that F100.
There's 3 of them here, Stray Bullet. 3 64 F100s in different configurations. So you can compare the 3.
Kim says he's still trying to recover 10 years later.
Just don't remind them. Don't remind them of it.
Sorry.
Are you eating still?
Because I want to eat. Fireplace says I'm going to need a bigger freezer for stocking up on hamburger and chops.
I thought we don't have a dedicated freezer.
Dan says on a moose boat, of course.
A moose boat, yes. I should have known, Dan. Sorry about that.
Yes, you should know. Steve Andrew says we buy a half a quarter side of beef from our neighbor every year.
And then you just cut off what you need?
No, he sells it. He sells it already packaged.
A half or quarter side of beef, which comes complete, and then they have to cut it.
No, right, Steven, that it's already packaged. Thunderbird says horseradish can be neutralized at whatever temperature you like. Wasabi is generally way too strong, in my opinion. Dan says best way to get it, Steven Andrews. Jeff Hutchins says I don't eat wasabi. I don't eat raw meat. Our ancestors discovered fire a long time ago. I do like charboiled. Thunderbird says I like the green on this car.
It does look good. For years, this was an unacceptable color, but people like it again.
Dan says this car looks handsome as a pillared coupe.
Mm-hmm.
Triple says,
and then it got bigger in 67, 66. Sorry.
Triple says you can definitely live without any moose in New Zealand. They're big, mean, and stupid. Joey?
I left the door unlatched. He's going to have to work for it. Steven says, yes, we have it cut and wrapped. Okay.
Yeah, I told you.
When I moved up to Oregon, I rented an office from this lady because that's where I had my dealer's license, and then I rented an apartment. When I moved up there to live in the apartment, she gave me like 6 steaks to put in my freezer, so I could just throw it in the pan and have it. When those ran out, I started living on Domino's pizza. but but they were really good. It was a local, it's a farming community. Ontario's a farming community on the east coast of Oregon. So yeah, it was local and it was fresh. And man, those were good, really good. You should buy a couple of steaks. Splurge on them.
But we don't have where to cook them. I like to cook them
In the
fire.
pan. The pan is fine.
No, the pan is not fine.
Yes, it is. It still tastes good.
No.
Thunderbird. That color would look good on a Thunderbird. I've seen similar colors. Yes, it did come. The seafoam green did come on the Thunderbird, and the Ford full size Fords, and the Falcons, and then later on the Pinto too. Very popular color. All of the earth tones at the time.
Papa says, I think having whipping cream helps with extra spicy foods. Indian food restaurants taught me that. Never order without the lassi. Mango plus heavy whipping cream blended.
Oops, excuse me.
Your pill?
Forgot to bring my pills in.
Bring your phone. Fruit.
Why do I need to bring my phone?
It's gonna go off?
It is going off.
Oh, okay. That sounds tasty. Butterfly. Chief Hodges says now there's tons of new cars that are that color green. Yeah. Barbara says nothing beats fresh steak. Oh yes. Steven says meadow green. Jennifer says that's why you're celiac Mexican spec from all the Dominoes, probably. Tripoli says they're trying to make hunting and fishing illegal in Oregon. Why? Over hunting and fishing, or like they're overdoing it, or Regular says I'd imagine that color on a Thunderbird would be lime gold like the Mustangs.
Joey's not out here. Joey's not out here. There's Danny leaning up against the door.
Tripoli says no. Barcula says I'd imagine that color on the Thunderbird would be lime gold, like on the Mustangs.
That could be, but there was also a green on it.
Thunderbird says seafoam green. I'll remember that. I think mine is Wimbledon white, but I'm not sure. There was a couple of off-white options. Jeff Hutchinson says when we lived in Ontario, the fresh fruits and vegetables were a fantastic benefit. The sweet corn and tomatoes were to die for.
I never got into that, but like I said, when the steaks ran out, it was kind of an odd thing for me to live there at that elevation, at that latitude, because the sun didn't go down until like 9 o'clock at night, and I don't think about food until the sun goes down, or at the time I didn't, and the only thing that was open at the time was Domino's, so I ate a lot of Domino's because I wasn't paying any attention to the hour to actually eat.
Thunderbird says that's what your celiac Mexican spec from all Domino's.
That's what?
That's for your celiac Mexican spec from all Domino's.
No, this was in 1994, so I don't know why I'm like this, but it doesn't help me to know why, because it just is.
Brando says pin code 905. Pablo says excuse me, Lassie is the name of the drink. I spelled it wrong. Brando says Portland lip crazies.
I wasn't in Portland, so
no, they were they were saying that they're trying to ban fishing and hunting on Oregon. So that's why. Chevrolet says, I'm not sure what their reason for that is. Mexican spec.
Mrs.
Mexican spec. And Jeff Hutchins says they've tried that animal cruelty ban 2-3 times before. It gets nowhere. Even our governor is against it, and she's a complete idiot on most things. It had no support from any politicians.
So who brought it up in the first place then? And don't they understand that hunting is necessary to control the population. It's not like people are just going out there killing every animal that they can see.
Durando says, my first T-Bird was a beautiful aqua. It was a Hot Wheels T-Bird, but
Yes, and that was the design that Thunderbird has, the 1968 Thunderbird. And yes, it did. The Hot Wheels look good in aqua. The real car would not. That's not an elegant enough color for the Thunderbird from 1968. And I speak from experience because I had a 68 Thunderbird also in the light green, black interior. Pretty nice car.
City Bullet says they want to ban racing cattle too. They want to ban everything.
Right?
What do they want to feed us then?
They don't. As I said, everything is protected for those people except for humans.
Barracuda says it won't happen then, will it, Jeff? Ah, cool.
You know, they say in California you can't uh, cut back the brush around your houses because that weed is protected. You're not allowed to kill it. So the house is burned down instead of getting rid of the brush. Just absolutely ridiculous. Yes, Thunderbird says proper hunting actually helps the animal population thrive. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And people are able to eat. It's not like you just most people don't go out there kill a deer and just leave it to rot. Every part of the deer is used. You gonna read it?
Sorry. Pablo says Hot Wheels, the most insidious, clever marketing scheme to grow customers for the auto market.
Yes, and it worked. And what are the video games doing? Vilefly? What are the video games training kids to do?
To drive,
No.
to fly airplanes.
First, no. Was it
Yes.
was it called first shooter games or something?
First person.
Yeah, first person shooter.
There's so many different video games. You can't just put one.
That's doesn't matter. That's what the training is for.
You know that the army is putting out shooter games for that same reason to train
Probably.
people for the army.
Yeah.
So why are you turning it around on them too?
It's the same thing. It's the
Yeah. You know what my video games are teaching me to build houses.
good.
So don't be all video games teach you to kill because they don't.
I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm. You just said that.
Go.
No. Dan says just rinsed off my grapes, which I had soaking in a salt and baking soda and water solution. I'm never not washing grapes again. Yeah, same. I also wash my grapes in salt, and after that I soak them in silver something. We have silver something here to um put on fruits and vegetables. And butterflies are doing fine. Yay!
Teaching kids to kill and be violent.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what it is teaching them to feel nothing when they do kill. I've watched my son play those kind of video games, and in the video games, the people that he's killing are not just males, but they're females too. And the males are supposed to protect females in the society. And I told him I really don't like the fact that they have the females in there. You know, I guess it's equality or whatever, but the kids are killing men, women, whatever, and it's not the way a person's supposed to think about those things. And he's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter to me." And it's not a mistake that they have that in there. What?
I just don't agree.
Well, you don't have to. Thunderbird personally thinks video games are terrible for society. A lot of them probably are.
I don't think so. I think very few are bad for society, and a lot of them are really good. What do you have to say
You don't
about
have to go through each and every video game.
what do you have to say about Minecraft? What do you have to say about Minecraft that is
I
bad?
don't have to say anything about Minecraft.
Is Minecraft
Look at all
bad?
the videos about people stealing cars. That is
There's like three video games that are
that's GTA in real life. They play it on the video game, then they go out and do it.
that has been happening before
It
GTA
doesn't
existed.
matter. Not at the level it is now.
No.
I lost it, so you have to read them.
But this is GTA Vice City had the ideal soundtrack for me. Josh Hammond says actual animal cruelty should be illegal, but that is used as an excuse for a lot of nonsense laws as well.
Yep.
Yep. Jeff Hutchins says it's not even just hunting and fishing, it's butchering farm animals, rodeos, etc. They found enough morons to get it on the ballot. Even here, it'll never get passed. It will also completely defend. Mm. Steven Andrews says, I was a car crazy kid even before Hot Wheels came out in '67. Joe Hutchinson says, Oregon Fishing Game.
Well, it has to be the public that gets it on there. They have to have signatures.
Thunderbird says, whatever you do, don't put grapes through the dishwasher. No.
We don't have a dishwasher.
Pablo says, yeah, it's pretty messed up. Fernando says, dehumanizing.
Exactly.
Cerebral says, Silver is superior, right? Yes. Joe Hutchinson says, defund Oregon Fishing Game, not defend. They won't exist since they are 100% funded by hunters and fishermen.
So like they're writing their own death warrant.
Philippe says, I learned how to street race in Tokyo on Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero on my PS2. Yay! Dan just had to go to the kitchen and bring the grapes back to the desk. Are they red grapes or green grapes? Double says, isn't
Careful of your answer, Dan.
this, says, isn't Spec a gamer? Yes, I am. Thunderbird says, I'll put it this way. I don't think video games have benefited society. I think they did. Because, um, right now, as an example, I play The Sims, which you will be like, oh, it's such a girl's game. It's just playing dolls. Okay, sure. But I don't actually play dolls with The Sims, which will be my main point. What I do with The Sims is I go in a lot, I pick whatever freaking person the Sim is there, and I just go and build houses because it is so interesting to go and see what you can do with the houses. And you wouldn't believe the amount of games that are doing that now, just creating games for you to build houses. And isn't that an actual job? Couldn't you do that as an actual job? Talking to
Probably.
you.
Probably.
Yes. So wouldn't that benefit society?
That's not the video games he's talking about, though.
What? That's what I'm saying. Sonneberg says, I'll put it this. Then says, I like the wasted talent fabrication stop growing game he plays. It's really excellent, and I don't even cultivate, or take marijuana. Dan says, only gaming I did was Unreal Tournament, Game of the Year edition. Love that game, but my hard drive on it died. Buffalo says, Minecraft is hacked by pedophiles to stalk kids. You can play Minecraft without being online, darling. You don't have to be online to play Minecraft. So you don't have to have any kind of people there. So a measure of caution is observed but on my house. Other video games have these issues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Butterfly says UT was very fun. What's UT?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hutchins says, I think the people that are already mentally imbalanced might be affected by video games. That's with everything. With everything. With books, with movies.
No people.
Normal people, not a difference. Unfortunately, we are creating too many lunatics anymore. Yep. Entonces, need traps for those pets. Oh. Bafla says, I think I still have that edition somewhere. Sin says, it's live and you get to tend every part of we plant the seed, nature grows the seed, then we harvest the seed, then we smoke the seed. Dean says, what the fuck should be mandatory for everyone?
Not necessary.
Dan says, Butterfly and I was always an anti first person shooter type. I tried the game on a whim and loved it. Robert says, I know too many people personally who have wrecked their lives from video games. Same with drugs and alcohol. Some people can control it, but you never know until it's too late. Well, that's from people to people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, my wife lurks around online at my kids' environment and busts the pedos. Joe Hutchins says, again, I agree with Mrs. Peck. It seems to happen a lot. Dean says, dudes with wrenches hangs out with him. Dan says, nice. Dan says, Thunderbird, those people would still be fed up if you took away those things.
Probably.
Barclay says, as a teacher, my wife is a bit protective. Yeah, I understand.
At least I'll give it one thing. At least the crazy people playing the video games are in their basement playing the video game, and then they're not out doing bad things. But at
But,
some point, they come out.
but you can't blame video games for that. Danny's trying to lean against them. Your turn.
Dean says, "But you haven't tried it, Mexican Spectre. Try it, then you may. Try it, then you may." I say, "No, I
Try
don't.
which one?
I don't do video games because my hands
Oh, that's
are
a
not going to
lie.
hand that. I'm not going to handle that. What?
Well, he doesn't do video games anymore
Mm-hmm.
because of his hands. But he did used to play video games. So he's lying. Also,
Civilization. I play Civilization.
he plays Civilization.
Building things.
He used to play a poker game that installed on a PlayStation 3.
Yes, but
He
you're putting those kind of games under the umbrella that everybody else is talking about, the violent games.
That's what I'm saying. You can't blame all video games.
Nobody is saying all. Nobody said anything about all. Mean you can play it on the side of the street if you got good data. Data's expensive here.
Yeah. Liv says, I will come outside to work. I put away gaming in 2011 once live streaming was discovered. Pablo says, they come out at 3 a.m. looking for munchies, then getting angry. There's nothing open. Sure, Willie says, video games were pong when I was young.
7-Eleven's always open.
Godlight still plays Civilization. Yeah, I have it, but I have it on my PC, on my laptop, but I can't figure out how to play with a controller for Mr. Spec to play, and he doesn't want to play with a keyboard. Turnover says, yeah, I don't think you can blame video games for violence, but there's definitely an association. Or in my shooter in recent history, I can think of excessively played violent shooter games. Yeah, because they look for something of that nature. They look for it. Dan says, we had Stellar Invaders on Apple II, on Apple II Plus, when I was a kid in the 80s.
Stellar Invaders? You mean Space Invaders? What's Stellar Invaders? Is that like a knockoff copy of Space Invaders?
Joe Hutchins says, I know people who wreck their lives with video games simply in the amount of time they did it. Lost jobs, family, etc. It can be an addiction. But everything can be an addiction if you give it a chance. Like in my case, my sister is addicted to reading. Literally addicted to reading. She reads on her phone and she cannot stop reading for a minute. She lost her jobs, literal jobs, plural, and I had to kick her out of the house because she wouldn't work, she wouldn't contribute, she wouldn't take showers, she wouldn't eat. So, nope. In other words, YouTube is my vice. Public Civilization 2 is a nice historical fun. The controller sucks. Use the keyboard.
What civilization are we up to now? It's like 7 or something.
7.
We're up to number 7, which is more detailed and everything. But apart from my hands, my eyes are failing me too. So it's hard for me to even see what's going on unless I'm like right up on the TV.
Dan says, I wreck my life with laziness and a lack of vision. Yeah, you can do that too. What is Pac-Man?
Super Pac-Man.
What is knockoff Space Invaders? Dan says, yes. And says there was a strip poker game too on that green pixelated screen. No, we Mr. Spec used to play. I bought him a game, a poker game, which was an exclusive PlayStation game, which had characters of different exclusive PlayStation games on it. Like it was the what is it called?
One was Borderland.
Yeah, Borderlands.
I don't know the others.
The I just don't know the games, but yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But it had more. It wasn't just a machine telling you like put money and this and whatever. It wasn't a sexy girl, whatever. There were the characters using their lines and using their wit, sitting around on the table with you. So it was pretty cool.
Thunderbird wrecked his life performing a self lobotomy. Did it work?
When I read that, I thought it was Dean talking, but okay. Dances and Corp, which was D&D type game, which I never figured out.
I never played D&D either.
George Thomas says there's a reason we have mass shooting is because the news media covers them inconsistently. Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo says I am stuck on Civilization 2, simple but not too simple. When Activision took over, the interface sucked. I like, but the other one. What's the name of the other one? The one that. Oh, I don't remember which one it is. I'll think about it. Danny Wood says, I wreck my life with my antisocial personality disorder. Thunderbird says, Gyptan, Danny Wood is for real. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Somewhere in the Bible. What says, Sork or Gorp? No.
I don't know either of them.
No.
I was never one to run out for this video game or that video game. It never made any sense to me.
Oh, I did.
You guys remember Intellivision?
Oh, Intellivision.
Dan says, I can't remember now. They both sound familiar. Could have been Zork. You guys remember Intellivision with the controller? It had a pad on it, and then it had the round part below, like a kind of a toggle.
That is Mattel Intellivision.
Mm-hmm.
That was his Introvision.
One year for Christmas, Mrs. Spec bought me an Intellivision, but it wasn't Intellivision. It was made up. Here you go. Here you go. Stray bullet. So it was basically Intellivision, but it had a lot more games. We played it all night that night from the 24th to the 25th, and then went to sleep. Came out in the morning, and the cats had chewed up all the cables. So I got to use it one time.
I fixed it.
You did?
Yeah, it's still working.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's working. We played it with my sister on another Christmas. It's fixed if you want to play it. Dan says, I never got to play on a television rig. Played a few old Ataris when they were new though.
Yeah, I had Intellivision when I was a kid, which is how I know that I liked it. What was the game that I liked? It's that word that everything is perfect.
Excellent.
No, I can't remember the name of the game, but yeah, it's not fast running games or anything. They're very chill. All of the games.
I like racing games as well. The Need for Speed games, I really like them. I suck at them, but I really like them. Why aren't we talking about cars?
I don't know. Thunderbird says we never watched TV growing up, only the occasional movie. Utopia. Yeah, there you go, Thunderbird. Thank you. That's the name of the game.
Says uses uh, MAME emulators for vector graphics arcade games. Yeah, I want an emulator. I still have my PlayStation 2, but it's not working. Something's wrong with it. I want to take it to the store, but I want an emulator for PlayStation 2.
See, the graphics on a television are crude, and that's what I like about it. That's what I love about it. I don't want a video game to be like reality, which is what they are now because the actors, have done the acting, and it's like they acted out a play, and then it's in a video game, and we get to control them. No, I'm a kid from the '70s. That's what I like. It doesn't have to be like I'm manipulating a movie.
To be fair, you do like to watch Markiplier play the games. You like to play the game. You like to see the some of the games with the story, like The
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us
Yeah,
and what was that one?
I don't know. Dan says my uncle has a computer in the late '70s. It used a cassette tape as a drive. It had Pong on it. Did you mean to say he had?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
hope you
what?
mean to say he had, or your uncle still living in the '70s.
So but it doesn't have the option on the race light. But says PlayStation game emulators are done with um,
Maine.
MAME too. Then says I have PS1. Yeah, I had the PlayStation 2 and I had a PlayStation 3, but they both stopped working. But I have a PSP, a PlayStation Portable, and it technically works, but it doesn't charge. I have to send it to a mechanic. I was gonna say. Mm,
Left that picture in there.
Pablo says in television emulator mode also. Joshua says you don't want to use an emulator; it could get you sued. Eh, Dances had.
Nobody's gonna know you have it, so
And as long as you don't play Nintendo games. Pablo says it's a very versatile emulator. So there's not much leg room in the back seat.
nobody's supposed to be back there. Maybe a bag from the supermarket.
Dan says, I wonder if he does still have it. I had to guess. Papa says, let them try to sue. Let them try. Dan says, I did this Super B.
Super B.
Super B.
That was from last week. I don't know how those two pictures bled into my new list. I don't know how that happened. What I do see are prices going up and up and up on the cars here. Like it's hard to find a Volkswagen Beetle, at a reasonable price anymore. Even the daily drivers are 120, 130,000 pesos. They were only 70,000 pesos new.
Stop it. What are you? Come on.
That is a nice truck, Thunderbird. The wood in the bed looks good. It's all been done except for the turn signal switch. I do not like the aftermarket turn signal switches. Just replace the turn signal switch that's inside the column like it came out of the factory. Just do that. And those are from a newer Ranger, aren't they? Or some newer truck. Those are not year specific. That was from last week too. It's Pujo. Pujo.
Mm-hmm. Papa says, oh, the seats. Dan says, that turn signal switch is okay in that truck.
No, it isn't. It needs to be the original turn signal switch from when it came out of the factory. It's not difficult to buy them and install them. So just go use the original wiring instead of adding all that extra wiring.
Thunderbird says, the blue looks good with the brown leather.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. How do you think the dark wood looks in the bed with a truck of that color? It kind of stands out a bit too much for me. Did all you guys see the Kiwi's video about looking at a Mustang like this? It was even the same color, red. I bet this one's in much better condition for less money. I should send these pictures to Kiwi and say, "Hey, tell your customer this can be delivered to Florida for a certain amount of money." Oh, I don't want a million pesos in my account. Well, more than $1 million.
I do.
Stray bullet. I might not have had turn signals from the factory. Yes, it did. 64s had turn signals. Dan, I installed a new turn signal switch in my 77 F-150, 8 wires. I fished them 4 at a time. It should have been a plug. They didn't give you the plug. Just plugs right in and you're done. Thunderbird. I haven't watched it yet, but I should. Yeah, he found all kinds of crap underneath the car. I mean, that car's been through hell. I bet this one's much nicer. But it had a bench seat, a factory bench seat in a Mustang fastback. That was the weirdest thing. I've only seen one other one, and it was here in Mexico. It was a 1967 Mustang that had a bench seat in it. Very odd, but very rare. Stray bullet. Door locks were an option on some trucks back then. Not in 64. No, they all had the keyhole. You pull the handle backwards or you push it down to lock. Well, they definitely had door locks. In the 50s, they didn't. But in the 60s, they all did. I can't remember if it was an automatic or a manual in that one that he sent me. I think it was a manual. This one's an automatic. But this has nicer carpet, has nicer seats. It has
Send the information.
nice everything. I don't want that much money running through the account until we're in a better situation with that. That's that. Thunderbird says, I love those rare options, people, those. And it doesn't make sense, but I understand. Stable, the fold down rear seat was a rare factory option also. Yeah. And in that one that Kiwi looked at, one piece of carpet was really black and the other two were sun faded. And then the A pillars on the inside were not painted correctly. And they're asking $73,000 for the car, apart from everything he found underneath. Thunderbird. What was the earliest cars imported into Mexico? Imported into Mexico? I don't know. 40s? Yeah, probably. But there weren't really many cars to import in the 40s because half of the decade was taken up by the war.
Dan says the plug/connector won't fit through the column, so you must pin it. It can't. I can't remember if it came with a new connector or if I used the old one. Gotta make sure to get the wire positions right.
Okay, now how did they install it at the factory?
Rafa says I miss bench seats. Now all the new cars are so segregated, not togetherness. Um, in mind, just a bunch of individuals with their gadgets riding along with you. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I get that. Kim says 73K is outlandish for that car he was showed.
Yes, it is. Plus, he has to pay tax on that, plus licensing wherever in whatever state he lives in. I mean, it would go way up from there. You know, but my point was, this is Street Side Classics, which was the owner of the car that had to buy it back the last time. You know, when Tony and Kiwi blew up to get that whole thing. Why did they let him in the building to even look at it? They knew what he was going to find and record. So they knew that the whole deal was going to blow up. They knew that. And now nobody else is going to want to buy it because of what he put out on his video. So it doesn't make any sense why they would let him in the door.
So, well, this is a gas tank is exactly like the early Pinto gas tank. Like an early Pinto.
What?
That gas tank is exactly like
No,
an
I
early
know
Pinto
that.
gas
No, I'm
tank.
saying what to him because the floor of the trunk of the Pinto was not the gas tank. The gas tank was farther down.
Jennifer says, or I guess my question was, when did it become normal for people in Mexico to own vehicles? Here was probably with Ford model
I honestly don't know that.
A and T.
I don't read. I haven't done any research on what the economy was like back then.
A baby.
Mexico was not as involved in World War II that other countries were. So things were just going along. We know you're here. We can hear you. And everybody knows what you look like now because you're on the thumbnail.
Baby.
A and T.
Baby.
Firefly. In the back with bench seats, you could play cards, games, and such. Yeah, Tanner just put out a short about vintage adventure drives with his girlfriend sitting right next to him on the bench seat, and they look very happy together.
Why don't we have a picture like that?
Because I don't take pictures. Dan says I prefer a 68 with the round lights. A 68 what? Kim.
Did you took a picture of Joey or did you?
Yes, I took a picture of Joey. Kim, it's still a nice car. The seller would just have to price it correctly. Yeah, but it's not gonna. He showed that some of the welding was like I welded it, and I don't know how to weld. So the stuff is not. If the car gets into an accident, the things are just gonna break off into tiny little pieces. It is just not safe.
So what it says, the Pinto gas tank was the trunk floor.
I don't remember that.
Dan says, "Got to Spec."
Yep.
Got to Spec.
Back in 1940, Mexicans still rode mules. I guess we rode moose here. Moose. And the plural moose? Moose. Impala. Oh, okay.
When?
He prefers the 68 with the round lights on the Impala. I think the 67 has the best dashboard of all of them. Huge gauges, huge turn signal light on each side.
Tráeme el com. Allá está, el com.
Thunderbird says the cat's gonna get snuffed by the cartel now because he's on the thumbnail. No, he's fine. He's not a threat to them. And CD Birdlock is going to bed. So good night.
Good night, CD Birdlock.
Thanks for being here. Thunderbird, Viofly, and such. See, this is in the 60s, this is my favorite Ford because I grew up in the back seat of one, not the fastback model, just the two-door hardtop. But yeah, this is what I am used to, where everything is, what the dashboard looks like.
What it says, that's why they would catch fire in the rear end collision. Many vehicles were like that. Did you read that one already?
I don't think that's why.
Oh. Sorry.
When you smash the back of a Pinto with a full-size Impala, shit's gonna get weird. Barry's favorite Impala is the 63 model. How can you beat that dash? Look at that dash. Perfect. Even though this one looks like it's recovered. Thunderbird, I like this cat. He's very talkative.
And he likes you brush him.
Yeah, and he's getting hair all over the room now. Jeff says, Germany tried to talk Mexico to invade the U.S. in World War II to distract us from getting into World War I. The major factor, Germany tried to talk Mexico to invade the U.S. in World War I to distract us from getting into World War I. The major factor getting America involved. Tim, Buff just awoke to shout, "That's not true about the Pinto." No, I have taken Pinto gas tanks out, both the coupes and the wagons, and the gas tank was not the floor of the trunk. No, Stray Bullet, that's not why. When the rear end was hit, it would fold down, and it would pull the gas tank away from the filler neck, and that's where the leak would be. And then, of course, you've got all the sparks, which would catch the car on fire. Firefly says, cheese slides off his cracker. He also says, okay, I'm slipping. Time for bed. Okay, Firefly.
Okay, Firefly. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming. Thunderbird. Is that legit plum crazy? No. This is a satellite. Those colors didn't come on the satellite. And did they even come on cars in 71? I don't know. But no, people paint the weird colors on all these cars. This is not a road runner no matter what the seats tell you. Somebody did it right. They painted under the hood and everything. So, we forgot to buy pork chops
Uh,
to brine them. I got to test that out, Biofly, honestly, because it sounds really good, and they're cheap. They're cheaper than chicken. They're cheaper than than beef. They're cheaper than anything around here. Has anyone seen the news about the war with Iran being over? No, I'm here talking to you guys. I don't have anything else on. And Believe likes the satellite. I do not like this body style, and I don't know how anybody can like this body style, but it seems to be everybody's favorite. They even covered the steering wheel, the horn pad. After the 68, 69, and 70 body style, this was crazy. Stephen Andrews. Ponchi Villa was doing shenanigans around them. Ponchi Villa. Ponchi. Like
oh,
Ponchi.
Paunchy. Paunchy. I don't know.
Kim. Very Kuda. I hope it's true. It was all over the news, but I don't trust it yet. No, and even if it was, things can change in the morning.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees of anything. Dan likes this body style. Fuselage. Believe my first car was a 74 satellite, so I'm biased. It was much calmed down by then. By 74, it was a much calmed down body style, but I like formal bodies. The 68, 69, and 70 was perfection, and you cannot improve on that. Jeff Hutchins, very good. I think the communications between different factions in Iran is so bad that it'll be hard to get a complete end, but I hope for the best.
Whatever says Trump said, ships start your engines, let the oil flow. But I've never heard of oil prices going down lower than previous prices. Suppose Braden is here?
Hello, Braden. How are you tonight?
Hey, Braden. We're talking about cars and brushing cats.
Yeah, Jeff. I think the post 70 Chargers are ugly. Yes, because they're two-door coronets. That's all they are. Same dashboard, same everything. You know, Dean Stevenson, like Ron Jeremy, not having a lot on. Perhaps Mrs. Mexican Spec could comment.
On?
Like Ron Jeremy, not having a lot on. You know who Ron Jeremy is?
Yes.
Okay.
Not having a lot on? Wouldn't that be
Stray Bullet is currently Googling. And Braden says, fight on U.S. lawn, Alex Piera get
I'm
horrible.
sorry.
I was hoping for him to win.
Did you heard him?
What?
He complained because I stopped.
Oh. Give him a good smack. That'll work. Are you talking about did they have the UFC fights on the lawn at the White House today? I don't know what you're talking about, Braden. Oran. Yeah, Dean. Oran. Barracuda. It seems like it should be for real this time. I hope so. I want to see fuel prices go down. That fingered it, Jeff. Iran. We figured it out, Jeff. Dean. Dean to Braden. Wasted talent fabrications. WTF. He has lives. He tends his garden and weeds out a good crop. Are you representing that site or something, Dean? You're getting paid to promote it? Thunderbird. I want fuel prices to go down and good aftermarket parts companies start producing. This is my only Christmas wish. Well, hopefully they'll start producing things in Mexico again. Who knows? If there's a hole in the market, somebody's going to fill it, and hopefully it's not going to be Chinese.
I don't know, man. China's expanding.
Yeah, well, hopefully other people will get into the business too and have some competition. Looks like this car needs a little foam in the seat. It's kind of,
Man,
or some fat guy owns this car or something. I definitely need something to eat after this. All the water in my stomach is coming back up.
mm.
Yeah, Mexican parts always seem to be okay to me, Thunderbird. Well, I'm glad that's the case. Because Hecho in Mexico never seemed to be the highest quality anything, in my experience.
Ay, qué sencillo.
Maybe, Dan, but that won't really knock down the foam in the seat. Being really, really big will. Josh says it probably will be the Chinese. Yeah. They're making whole cars now, so you don't put anything past them. Dean, no, I don't get paid in clicks. He's from Oregon. They are very free there. Where did you get that idea that they're free in Oregon? Maybe in the outskirts, but not in the big cities on the West Coast. The East Coast, or Oregonians,
Oregonian.
they are a very different breed of people than they are on the West Coast. Believe me, I had to live there for a year. Barracuda, I hope that about aftermarket parts too. There's not much Chinese made that I trust. Well, if we don't have a choice, Barry, that's what we have to put in our car. Thunderbird says Danny Boyd's. Jeff, I wish Mexico would be the new China. It used to be. Everything used to be made here. Now we have Chinese stores everywhere selling the stuff that should be made here. I don't understand how they got a foothold in a country that has the production ability that Mexico has, because it's not like they're paying a lot to the Mexican employees either. But the Chinese stores here, for example, one up the street here, they the building they're in used to be a supermarket, and they have it filled with everything you could think of from China, plus a back room with more stuff. So unbelievable. Stephen Andrews, I'm gonna doze off. Got to be up at 6. Okay, good night, Stephen 1.
Good night, Steven.
Maybe Stephen 2 can stay here. Dean, he's on the outskirts. Oh, that's good. Thunderbird, if China makes good parts and the government here leaves the old cars alone, I'll be happy. Not my ideal choice, but as long as I can fix my old junk. Yeah. 3D printing is also a thing, but it's going to really raise the price of the parts.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they get the 3D printed part to make it into metal, because they're not 3D printing in metal.
It can. Depends on the metal.
Jeff Hutchins, most of Western Oregon is good too. Too many imported idiots in the cities, though. Eastern Oregon is all good except for Bend. I don't think I ever went to Bend. Oh, Stephen Andrews too is going to sleep too. Okay, bye, Stephen Andrews
Bye,
too.
Steven Andrews too.
I expected you to stay a little bit longer. Dan the Thunderbird. Well, I'll be tooting away here soon. Chili, 3 pounds of meat, enough Shelby seasoning for 4 pounds, 4 cans of dark red kidney beans, and 4 cans of tomato sauce paste, and diced tomatoes. You're looking for tomato paste, aren't you?
I have it on the shopping cart.
What is tomato paste, guys? Is that like they took the tomatoes and pureed them? Sounds yummy, Dan. Thunderbird. I'm sure they added something, but
Dude, I was watching you the other side.
flip them over. That's okay, Steven, too. If you're tired, you can go to bed too. We're fine. Big bullet. I stand corrected. I thought they were drop-in tanks for some reason. No, that was the Mustang. That was not the That was not the Pinto. Tomato paste rocks. Tomato paste rocks.
It's like 79 here.
79 pesos.
Yeah, for one tube.
Tube?
Tube.
It comes in a tube?
Like a toothpaste.
Powdered metal like graphite BMW cylinder blocks, he says. Jeff Hutchins. Bend was awesome 25 years ago. Then the Californians invaded. They've been invading for a lot longer than that. Since I was up there in the 90s. Everybody, I'm glad I had Nevada plates on my car when I went up to Oregon because I got good service at the gas stations. If I had California plates, that wouldn't have been the case. Danny Boyd, tomato paste is thick and rich, boiled down maybe.
Yeah.
Stray Bullet, I remember my Toyota Corona was a drop-in tank. I never checked gas tanks on my cars, but I've been all the way through Pintos. Danny Boyd, I can eat tomato paste by itself. Oh boy. Why don't you just skip the middleman and eat the tomato? Thunderbird. That's a funky carry-all with the extra side windows. Yes, it is. Somebody put those in there. We were talking about it yesterday on here. That I don't know why they would do it. You know, I don't think. I mean, they have curtains on the window, so I don't think it's for visibility for the driver. Maybe a little bit extra for the people that sit in the back seat to look out. I don't know. It just looks odd, and it can't make the thing any stronger in an accident. Barracuda. There's even Chinese tomato paste at the supermarket here. No, no, no. Do not eat food from China. Don't do that.
No, you're not.
Jeff. They took over about 25 years ago. The invasion was complete. Oh my. Oh my.
And says, and that extra chrome around the door handle.
Look at that Volkswagen van. How nice it is.
Yeah. Buy for me.
Somebody did a lot of work on that.
Buy for me. Is that the one with the big windows in the back?
No, this is a Volkswagen van, not the carryall.
Oh.
This is a nice van. Somebody did a lot of work on this, but I think it's a very reasonable price. I think on this one.
Because they don't.
You got to read labels. And when you need to read labels more than anything when you get older, you can't read them because the writing is so tiny. I hand everything to Mrs. Spec to see what it says because it just looks like lines to me. It doesn't even look like lettering.
And what I do is I take a picture on my phone and I just make it bigger.
Yeah, well, that's technology. This is an air-cooled Volkswagen van, so I don't know how it hauls all that extra weight of we call them muebles, all the furniture and everything in there. So I would definitely not drive this one anywhere on the highway.
Somebody says Japan used to be viewed as China is now, but now anything made in Japan is viewed as good quality. China can make great parts, just comes down to the quality standards of the company.
Yes, and we have no way of knowing what that is.
Dan says reading glasses.
No thanks. I'm not going to put on a pair of glasses every time I want to look at a label. No. That's what I have Mrs. Spec for. I'm going to show this one to a customer, but it was one of those that was published with no price. So I asked the price, and the guy sends me his phone number. So I'm guessing it's high. But it is a nice one. It's a nice Safari.
Trevor says, yeah, no way to know still. Trevor says, still a Chinese feel.
You think we could drive one of these across the country? A Safari. There's no windows. They're just
no air.
No, there's no air.
In the winter, perhaps.
There's no windows. They're just the ones you put up there are plastic, and they're gonna flop, 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 flop.
In winter, perhaps if we have blankets.
Bay Bullet. I remember when we started getting cheap Taiwan products in the 70s. They were kind of a curiosity back then. Mexican spectacle. You had your time. Now be quiet and shut up. Both. Do both. Do both. There's no food in here. You're not smelling anything. You're not smelling anything. Too bad. We're working.
I already brushed you.
We're working.
Dean says, hence the name Mrs. Spec. Jeff Hutchins says, well, I'm going to Tony's Tacos for a late dinner. We have great Mexican restaurants here, ran and staffed by real Mexicans. Not a bunch of dumb white teenagers playing grab ass.
That's what I told Mrs. Beck. After this, let's run down to the taco place. But I think we'll just make chicken here.
Barracuda says, a few times here, people got hepatitis from berries imported from China. Police says, I'm sending meow energy.
If I feel your nails, you're going to get a slap.
Dean says, Barracuda should look even hotter with Dame Edna average glasses.
No. No, she would not.
Dean says, are the same ones Patricia Bartlett wore? I don't know who Patricia
I don't know that one. I know Dame Edna, but I don't know Patricia Bartlett.
Who's Dame Edna then? Isn't Edna from the cartoon movie?
No.
Ah.
She was an older man in England that dressed up as a woman.
Oh, I thought you were talking Edna from the Invincible. What is it called?
I don't know. Jeff says to Thunderbird, I remember when it was Japanese craft. Now Japanese equals quality. Well, that wasn't because of the quality of the product, Jeff. That was because of
racism.
Yeah, people didn't really appreciate Japan after the war. Dean says we could sell some kiwis back to China, Barracuda. Yeah, try that. Just don't send them here.
What is the name of that cartoon, guys? The Invincibles? It's the
The Incredibles?
Oh, the Incredibles. There you go.
Oh, the one that makes all their uniforms and stuff? No, that's not Dame Edna.
Well, I didn't know it was just the name Edna.
Dame Edna was a very early crossdresser. And being that it was a character, she was able to say whatever she wanted to with no repercussions. So, yeah. Thunderbird's leaving us.
Thunderbird.
Good night, Thunderbird. Are we still talking about sending Mexican cars up there to you? It is the summertime now. So, still haven't gotten an answer from the shipping guy. I haven't been asking him either. But if we could find something local around me that would work for you without doing a whole bunch of transporting and stuff, that would be much better. But I'm not sure what would make you money up there after all the expenses and everything. And remember, it could be 15 years or older. Doesn't have to be 25.
Universe says, have a great week. Hopefully we'll have a cool video about that abandoned vehicle soon.
Oh, cool.
Dean says, Patricia Bartlett was an anti-nudity campaigner. She wore glasses so they could see the window of her soul.
See, people like that are people that we don't want to see nude anyway. So they should not be talking for everybody else.
His name Edna Average was actually Australian comedian Barry Humphries.
Oh, I didn't know she was Australian. I didn't pick up on the accent. Sorry.
So it says, didn't Japan have the best cameras and radios back then?
Yes. Yes, they did. All of those electronics were the best from them. But times change. Everything changes. So I check with Sal from what's going on in shipping. Mexican inspector, he's a smart dude. I don't know who that is.
Edward says, yes, however money is tight at the moment, had lots of expensive car parts lately.
That's always going to be the case, Thunderbird. Always. Always. I have a client that wants a 78 or 79 carryall and he says he doesn't have all of the money yet. And I told him that I can't go out this month to get anything. He says, good. Well, that gives me time. I'm going to go to the auction, buy a couple of cars, and to flip them and get some more money and make some profit and get some more money in. So he's taking some time to collect some more money. I don't have a truck to sell him though, because like the one that's in Veracruz, he doesn't like because it doesn't have a headliner, and the original seats have some tears in them. And then the one in Guadalajara isn't a 78, 79, it's a 77, which has a different front end. He doesn't want that one. And then the one in Querétaro is a 79, but it's in storage most of the time. So I don't know what kind of mechanical issues it's going to have for me to try to drive it back up here. And he wants a lot of money for a truck that's been sitting around for a long time. And it definitely needs a set of tires. So I don't know. But he definitely wants the 78, 79 front end.
So when it says now Japan has all of their products made in China.
Everybody does.
Dean says she was hot, but definitely needed to listen herself a little. And Dame Edna Australians were very progressive. Dean says
she was a comedian. He was a comedian, so that was his character.
Dean says what's going on with shipping? Dean Stevenson doesn't get clicks or backhanders for recommendations.
Is that a YouTube channel? Or do I just scream that into the ether and we make connections that way? What's going on with shipping? Dean says, but I'm open to free will offers that I don't have to declare to YouTube. Why would you declare anything to YouTube? Lucen. Where would Lucen go?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel.
Okay, well, that's talking about big ships. I already have that part covered. I already know what ship to use to go to Florida. We have not found one that goes to Canada yet, though. I even asked a guy that brings in cars from other countries to Canada, and he didn't tell me what ship he's using either.
Dean says, but I'm open to free will offers that I don't have to declare to YouTube. Dean says, listen. Dean says, Barry Humphries. Dean says, yep, YouTube.
Only 200 pictures to go. Only 170 pictures to go. Yeah, you're definitely going to get a lot of notice and a yellow Fairmont box top because it will hurt my social media score. You have a social media score?
Everyone does. And I need to go wash my hands. Hold on.
Put it down. Barry says Barry Humphries was also a character called Les Patterson. You should check him out. Oh, okay. It's kind of weird that he did Dame Edna and people just accepted that character at face value. They didn't say Barry Humphries as Dame Edna. No, I invited Dame Edna on my show, or it was Dame Edna's show. They didn't even question it because of the, the cross-dressing part of it, which is fine. She was funny, and that's all that matters. But it's like Jeff Dunham with his dummies. He can say anything he wants to through them, and nobody can say anything. He's got protection. He doesn't do it. He was on. Jeff Dunham was on with Bill Maher on Bill Maher's podcast, and Jeff Dunham does not just argue things. He has the advantage of arguing both sides of an issue because the dummy is saying one side and he's saying the other, so he can argue back and forth with a dummy and let the audience make their decision. But yeah, he's every clip that I see, almost every clip that I see from him makes me laugh. Every one of them. He's got the right characters. He's got the right. He's a great writer, and he has a cool car collection with Pinto and a van and a Gremlin and all of the good cars. How about this truck, guys? Dual axles in the back, V8 gasoline engine under the hood. Somebody has really taken care of this truck or made it really nice. So did the dummy on Soap. I've only watched a few episodes recently of Soap. I haven't gotten to the dummy part yet. Billy Crystal is a genius, though. Was a genius on that show. Yeah, this is a nice truck. Very nice. I don't know what the back of the truck looks like. Anything they wanted to, Stray Bullet. Anything they wanted to.
I was thinking about making it popcorn.
No, it has to be real food. I can't eat anything like that. I don't know. Maybe livestock, Stray Bullet. What this truck was built to maybe livestock. The interior could use a little bit more work because the seats are not. It should have a bench seat. It needs a bench seat, but
Hold on. Get my phone.
and they're still eating.
Grapes.
Yeah, it does look like livestock because it has, the way it's built. They can breathe and everything, and there's no top on it. But it's a really pretty truck. Whoever owns it should be really proud of it. And that bumper will get you out of anything. Imagine somebody brake checking you in this one. That thing's going through the back of their car. Stray Bullet. That looks like a water tank on the front of the bed. Maybe. Could be. Bat Campbell. He has his hand up Bob's ass. Bat Campbell? Who's Bat Campbell? I know Campbell's the family name, but who's Bat?
Dean says, Josh Oldman, welcome.
He's been here, Dean, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Look how nice somebody made a Ford Courier. I mean, who thinks to do that? It needs the original taillights, though. I don't like those that are inset like that.
Well, it says it looks like a rear bumper on the front.
Yes, but it's built to nobody is getting through that to break those headlights or grill. That's for sure. Somebody spent a lot more money on that seat than they did on the whole truck. This Gremlin is in Veracruz, so it could be just taken directly to the port. Doesn't look bad either. Yeah, like I told you guys, all of the mini trucks from the US from the early 70s on are here in Mexico. Every last one of them. We have all of them are represented here, and they're all in pretty decent condition.
Dean says for Courier, Joshua says things that have been here for some time.
Mm-hmm. Now this Gremlin looks pretty nice with the black accents, the blackout on the back of the car, and I believe it's a manual.
Regular says Billy Crystal's character on Soap was a bit of a
Automatic.
how do you do, as Norm Macdonald would say.
Yes, he was definitely a gay character, and right at the beginning of the show, they introduced that he wanted to have a sex change because he wanted to be a woman, and then they were dealing with that. It was the first time that ever was mentioned anywhere on TV.
Vince's bat was Chuck's alter ego, violent man with a baseball bat.
Oh, okay.
Triple says a Mazda.
Couriers were Mazdas. Yeah. Except for the ones that had the 2.3 liter Pinto engine on. I'm gonna have to publish this, see if anybody wants it. It's a pretty decent car. It is an automatic though. People like manuals, but we have an automatic sitting out front. It did fine.
Vince says I was busy swimming around Dunedin with my younger daughter car. Solely Joshua. Sorry, Joshua. Triple says rotary powered.
Not in the Ford Courier, and very few in the Mazda. Now I'd love to drive this around Mexico. So comfortable. I probably rip those side foot things off, the running boards. I did it at the dealership. Those were on a Suburban, and I got too close to one of our planters and ripped it right off the side of the truck on a brand new Suburban. Suburbans and I did not get along on the Chevy lot. I damaged two cars, two vehicles in the 2 years that I was there, and both of them were Suburbans.
Triple says my neighbor growing up had a rotary powered Courier.
Was it a Courier or was it the Repo? Was
Says,
it the Mazda version of it?
Maricela says I actually thought for a long time that Billy Crystal was a gay fella because of soap.
Look at the interior. How comfortable that is. No, he's definitely not gay. That's how good of an actor he was, even that early in his career. And then while that was going on, he was all because of that show. He was invited to come out to the Battle of the Network Stars, and he did pretty well on that too. Except on the first time he did the obstacle course, they had to go underneath a low like table type thing, and in this instance, they had rope going across like in sections, like crossing on vertical and horizontal. And at the just before he came up, he lifted his head, and his head got caught in the rope, and that hurt him. So he had to get back down, and then he had to finish the race. But after that, then they put a solid piece of plastic, I think, over it, so nobody could do that again. So he was the guinea pig.
Hmm.
They didn't have rotary engines, stray bullet, in the Fords unless somebody put one in there, and I don't think anybody did because it was not a good engine to have in anything. I mean, if it came in something, then it came in it, but nobody's going to put a rotary engine in something else.
Triple says it might have been the master version.
Mm-hmm.
Dean says Rico. I don't know what Rico is. Dean says he looked happy to me.
Now, this is a very nice Volkswagen Caravelle. The Caravelle was the passenger version of the Volkswagen van in Mexico. It should say Caravelle on the rear hatch, but it has the 2 rows of seats inside. It has the seats in the front, and of course, liquid cooled.
Oh, turnkey. That's what he said. Not Rico. Dean says Richard Holdener failed American Ninja 2.
No, it doesn't have the Caravelle script on it, but it probably is a Caravelle. This one's very reasonably priced, and it's in nice condition, but it needs a deep cleaning on the interior. Some of these people are asking 350,000 pesos for these Volkswagen vans, the passenger versions. I mean, people ask lots of money for these vans here in Mexico. You can get them cheaper, but people have turned even window vans that were for cargo, they've turned them into this. And although that seat does look a little far back, but I guess it lines up with the ashtray. So I don't know. Those do look original to the van. and you can tell it wasn't a white van painted red because when the next picture comes up and you could see the rear seat, you can see the inside of the rear door is red. So this is probably a red van from the beginning, from the
Triple
start.
says, sorry, Triple says he had fenders, flares, and everything.
Yeah, the van did. Yeah.
Dean says Richard. Oh, no, I already said that. Dean says, did he have a doghouse worker? Triple says he invited me to come and have chicken with him sometime. Have a chicken? I'm confused.
I think they're talking amongst themselves. Why would they put wood back there? That's the access to the engine. Is that wood or carpet?
Yeah, that's what.
I don't know. Maybe it's carpet because it looks like it has. I don't know. I'd have to blow it up and see. Here's another courier, but a completely different vehicle. Completely different. I didn't put the shoes out. I didn't go out at all.
A whole chicken or have a one? Or McDonald's isn't? Since his nice look, Billy Crystal was so much more cleverer than Team Nice, but Team and Harry Enfield.
Watch some of the older comic relief shows that he did with Whoopi and Robin. Billy Crystal is on the ball. Was on the ball.
Did anyone saw the movie Escape? Not Escape Room. Backrooms?
No stray bullet. This courier does not have a rotary engine.
It says if Billy had only changed his last name to Chrysler.
Nope, that's definitely an overhead cam 4 cylinder. And this was the top of the line model because you can see the wheels that are on it. You either got those or the base steel wheels. I don't know why everybody didn't buy the top of the line truck because there wasn't that much more money than the bottom of the line truck. Let Doug DeMuro look at one of those. Oh, my neck. Oof. Celebrity. How many people we got in here?
11. So it
But
says
there's only 3 people commenting.
it has a header though, so that's good.
Header.
Header.
Oh, is that a header? Is that what you would call it? Because that's factory. I don't think it was added afterwards.
Dan says Dim was in a Clockwork Orange. I never seen that movie. Margaret says I'll have to go now before it gets dark. I got a little bit of brush cutting to do. Bye. Bye,
Bye,
Barracuda.
Barracuda.
Thank you for being here. Since Miss Ecstasy has seen all of Video ECS back catalog, but she never liked the hardcore section. What?
I think he's admitting something his wife did.
So was this a factory header? But the background just came out in the movie theaters.
What is it?
The background is another movie made by a YouTuber. Um,
Kim's still here and Buff's still listening.
um, and that hit the number one on the chart or close to number one. I don't know if it hit number one, but close to number one. And it was The youngest director ever. The guy is 21, I think.
Director of a movie?
Of a movie.
Yeah, because not a director of a TV show.
No, a movie.
Jason Bateman directed a few episodes of his TV show, and he was in his teens.
Triple says, "Well, he needs to go to sleep. He has to get up early." 15 says, Barracuda, just some 9-1 regular and a match. Oh, for the grass. It needs to cut. I don't know if I want to see it because it's kind of like
And what's the YouTuber's name?
I don't follow. I don't follow him. I just know
His name's not important.
I don't follow him. I just know the video game. And I don't care much for the video game either because it's like I don't know. It's weird, but the movie was praised, so I was wondering. Keen says very good. No, wait. Keen says it's possible. It's impossible to get him to sleep. I really tried.
Read a story to him, Kim. I mean, it's not like you're in different bedrooms now.
Mr. Spec was counting pintos the other day.
No, this morning I was dreaming about pintos. I got to a guy's place. I was looking for pintos. I got to a guy's place, and he had a dark blue. I only remember it from the front that had this big, huge scoop on the front of a on the hood like a Hemi Dart would have. And I got there just after somebody had already bought it for $700, and I missed it like by minutes, and I was really pissed off in the dream. So I started looking for pintos all around the area where he was. But that's after I showed Buff and Kim the pinto pictures or the bobcat pictures on their live yesterday. So the pinto got stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But it was not a 1980 model that I was looking at. It was an earlier model.
Someone says, I might burn up a bit more than you want. Kim says, that's why I have the computer on. It's a story for him. You have to be calming.
I can change my voice to be really calming. Tell stories.
Kim says, I just tell this ecstasy all about my 400 Ford conversion to a C7. And that puts her right to sleep. Yeah, that usually does it for me. But
Mm-hmm.
he starts talking like, I just saw a video about this guy that was doing this to a car, and and I was like, what do
I don't care if you care or not. I'm going to tell you anyway.
I know. I try to pay attention. Triple says, slip him a Mickey.
No, he has to get up early in the morning.
What's a Mickey?
It's what you take to go to sleep.
Oh.
No, he can't take anything like that because he has to get up early. Kim, why does he have to get up so early to go to work? Why do they have to work so early? I'm curious.
Maybe he has to blow dry his hair.
I don't think that's an issue. I think the hat takes care of that.
Tim says, I've got the perfect side for you, Kim Virginia.
Actually, what puts me to sleep, Kim, is ocean sounds. When I was in Las Vegas, I don't even know where I got them, but I got some cassette tapes that on one side had the sounds, but it had subliminal messaging underneath it, and on the other side you could hear the guy talking. So I would be laying in bed, and on the talking side he starts giving you these exercises to relax your head, relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your hands, and he goes down the whole body. And I noticed that when he got like halfway down the body, it felt like I was floating in the bed. I couldn't feel the bed anymore. It felt like I was floating because the complete relaxation. And then after that, he went on to the sounds and then the subliminal messages. And the one that I liked the most was about dreaming, because before I started listening to those, I would be like a third party observer in my dreams. I would not be interacting with anybody. I would just be watching it. But after I started listening to these tapes, my dreams completely changed, and I was the main character, and I was interacting with people. And even every once in a while I would have a lucid dream where I knew I was in a dream, so I could, change things or whatever, just, experiment. But it's the same thing now, all these years later, with the sounds. It's either rain sounds or the ocean sounds, and I go right to sleep most of the time. What the mistake that I made was, because I lived on one side of Las Vegas and I worked on the other, and I got into my '73 Oldsmobile '98, and I put the subliminal tape in the tape deck, and the ocean sounds were on, and I was driving across town, and I looked down and I was doing like 20 miles an hour on the street because the sounds were just so calming. I wasn't even accelerating it at all.
Kim says, I don't know why, but that is the time they open. He has to start early to get his hours in.
Hmm.
Kim,
Probably because of the heat that is, because they do the same kind of thing here. They go in early, then between like 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they go home to eat because of the heat, and then they come back a little bit later when it's a little bit cooled down.
Kim says, water sounds just makes him want to pee.
Yeah, okay, well, he can pee and then come back, and
Or put some other sounds like the.
there's chirping, there's crickets, there's a whole bunch of different sounds, but the water sounds work for me because it's still affecting my dreams. My dreams are different when I listen to the waves as they are when I listen to the rain.
How different? What kind of different?
I think they're more intense with the waves.
Mm.
More like I can remember more things happen, stuff like that.
Mm. Yoshima says that Carlos like if it's leaking oil.
Well, it may have been parked over somebody else's oil leak. We'll just go with that.
Well, it says siesta time. It says history perspective. Start with the Tarchian Empire. Both will love it. Kimberly.
I wonder what would have happened if I listened to the other tapes that I had. And I've looked for these tapes, and they don't exist anymore.
No,
Um, yeah, on cassette. If I would have listened to, you know, making your life better, being a better business person, whatever. But I listened to the dreams because that was important to me. I had one dream one time where I dream a lot about the house that I grew up in, and on the front lawn, I came out in my dream, and on the front lawn, there were two people there on bicycles. One I knew had passed away, and this other girl, the same girl I always dream about. So when I woke up in the morning, I questioned if actually there were three people. Two of them were dead, and I wanted to try to get in contact with the girl to see if she was still alive because that may have been the way of saying, she passed away. But no, she's still alive. She won't answer me on Facebook though. Either will Stacy. So I don't know if they're just not doing their Facebook or not looking at it or whatever. I don't know. Because even on Stacy's, I said because I'm using yours, she doesn't know who the name is. I said to give you a hint of who I am. At our 10-year reunion, you made a beeline for me, grabbed my hand, and dragged me onto the dance floor. And I don't dance. So, yeah.
Kim says oil leaks is how you always know there is oil in it. Kim says I don't get kickbacks from my suggestions. Kimberly says turn on a World War II history video for Bob.
He may get too interested in it though. He does need to relax. But sound whatever sounds relax him is what you should put on. When I go on these trips with my son's mother, she refuses to let me to have the sounds on in the hotel room. She doesn't allow it. So it makes it harder for me to get to sleep. Dean says, you'd have become an older version of Child Savant, Mexican Spectre. Well, maybe I would have done better managing my money and all kinds of stuff like that instead of buying cars all the time. I mean, what's money good for if you don't buy a car with it, right?
Triple says that's not fair, Dean.
The only thing money is good for is her buying cars.
Kim says to Dean, I will try that after if he's still awake. He wanted to listen to this stream because we have been missing so much.
We appreciate it, Kim. And hopefully you guys are doing well there. I mean, you are where you are, and you have to deal with the extreme heat. But you guys are dry there. You're not like us here with 60, 70% humidity on top of the heat. So
Kim says he enjoys listening to the sound of Russian trains travel. That's what he say works. How do you know
okay,
it's a Russian
yeah, I was
train?
gonna ask, what's the difference between a Russian train traveling and a train anywhere else traveling? Is it from in recorded from people inside? Does a Russian train have different wheels on it? Kind of weird. See that in front? Looks like a bullet hole right in front. That's exactly what it looks like, a bullet hole. Close up, it looks like a bullet hole. A bullet hit that car. But that's the only imperfection. It's the only imperfection in the whole car. No. Where? Where do you see it?
Okay.
No, that's a reflection. You see the like for from a roof or something?
Are you sure?
No. But
This
what's that over there? Well, look at the other pictures of the hood. There's nothing there. That's what Jay Leno says too. Okay. The Russian train is always breaking down.
Oh, this one's good.
Lots of people drinking vodka.
It's still there.
I have to see it to be able to get it. Kim says even at 110, it has been fine with the air and low humidity. Humidity. Yeah, the low humidity helps a lot. We don't get that here.
No. Kim says the Russian train has the speakers that announce the stops and the sounds of people talking. Oh, speaking. Dean
Oh,
says,
so it's the sounds from the inside of the train.
this is a Russian train is faster.
Okay. Now the question is, why is that what calms him down?
Memories? Wasn't he in Russia before?
Yes. Will the Trill is here.
Hey, Will.
Hello, Will. How are you doing with your Mustang? Did you get an answer from Haggerty?
Will, no, Dean said this probably. You got it.
I'm not sure I got it.
Yeah, you got it. I saw it. Sorry. And Dean says, and Vladimir Lenin on the back.
Vladimir. They roll their R's in Russia too. Vladimir.
I wanted to learn Russian, but you didn't let me.
Unfortunately, Haggerty totaled her. Just for that? Was the inner fender pushed in? It kind of looked that it was. Kind of looked like it was pushed in or pushed back, which is the where the fender went into the door, because the fender was still bolted to the inner fender, so the whole thing had to be moved back a little bit.
Can you keep the car once they say it's total, once the insurance
Yes,
is total?
you can buy it back from them. Kim says he has never been on an American train. He likes the thought of his visit to Russia. It's a good memory for him. Yes, I understand that. Do you plan on buying the car back from Haggerty, Will, and keeping her?
Princess Dan.
Are the pictures going?
Sí. ¿Ves?
Just seeing that that was on there for a long time. But the guy's got to be really proud of his car to take pictures of the inside walls of the trunk to show you how nice it is. Oh, Barracuda took off. This car has chamois interior. Really, really bright chamois interior. The inner fender was slightly pushed in above the headlight. I chose the option to keep the car. They were going to pay me $89 if I were to surrender the vehicle. I kept her and I get $78. Oh wait, that's nice. It wasn't very much of a difference then.
Yeah.
That's good. But they're going to total the car, right? On the documents. Is there anything like that up there? Because like if they were to do that here in Mexico, they take your original invoice and they give you an invoice for the car from the insurance company. So everybody from that day out will know the car was totaled by an insurance company. So you can never hide it.
Chevrolet says Stallion Scream. He says, Mrs. Spec, you'd only become an awesome spy. Mr. Mexican Inspector has saved you from all that. Being on a gulag isn't cool. I've heard it. I've heard tell. What?
We're not in Russia, so we're not worried about that.
Oh, because I wanted to learn Russian.
See how bright that interior is?
Yeah.
Chamois, it's called. Excuse you. I really need to eat something. This is getting bad. We don't order food. A lot of the cars that I've seen recently have wood steering wheels installed. It's like somebody had a sale in Mexico on wood steering wheels and everybody bought them to put on their cars. But to be fair, the plastic steering wheel in these late 70s, early 80s Fords did not hold up very well. Even on this Fairmont where I mean there wasn't even a horn button on the steering wheel. Huh? You said we're not going to spend the money. There's food in the refrigerator. 1999 Chevy Love. He's getting 91 regular Mexican Spectre. The brush will be gone in a cinch. Maybe.
Will the Trail says, I asked for the actual cash value. The estimate repair is roughly 8,200.
Mm. That sounds like a lot for the little damage that it was. But you're talking about painting and everything too, right? Making it like it was before. Painting is the expensive part. But they probably have to pull it back into place, the inner fender, so everything lines up correctly. How long will it take you to get the payout from Haggerty? I wonder how fast they are with all of that stuff.
Will says, yep, painting and everything.
Hmm. How hard is it going to be to find a new front bumper cover? Do they sell them for the 4Eyes? Or reproductions or something? What? It's dying?
Mm-hmm.
Be right back.
You can if you want.
Okay, we're back. Switching microphones here. Okay, we're back to the beginning with this really pretty blue Malibu. Missing a side marker light, but I think we have those in stock.
Dean says horn button on Foxes was on the column stock. Weird as Dr. Neuro says.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The steering wheel itself doesn't have anything like that. So it's just a steering wheel.
Will says hopefully get it as soon as possible. If the actual cash value exceeds the repair cost, I'll try to dispute the total loss claim.
I think it's over a percentage of the value, not the total value.
Will says, so anyway, 4-eyed bumpers are not being reproduced.
Oh, that's interesting. They make it a little bit more difficult to fix the front end. Because you do want a new bumper on there. You do not want to repair the one you have that's torn. Because you're always going to notice that it was torn. Even doesn't matter how nice they fix it. You're always going to know it's there.
Wouldn't it make it also like more brittle? Like
Could
if you
be,
crash
yes.
again.
Well, yeah, because the rubber is 40 years old. 40 something years old. 41 years old now. Mm-hmm. It's the same bumper that they used here on the 83, 84 bubble backs. The Mustang, not the Capri Mustang. Oh, the Mustang, not the Mustang Capri. Because I just published an 83 notchback today that has the Capri front end. They put 83 Mustang taillights on it, or it could have come from the factory with the Mustang taillights. I'm not sure. I'd have to see if the amber turn signals worked so it could be wired for it. I don't know. But then after I publish it, the guy sends me a video of the engine running. So the engine sounds really good in it too.
Will says fiberglass is difficult to make 100% perfect from repair.
Yeah, but the front bumper is rubber. You're gonna put fiberglass on a rubber bumper, a rubber buggy bumper. Here we are back to this Mustang that has weird crooked bumpers on it, front and back. The rest is decent. Maybe I should just concentrate on 74 model Mustang 2s with factory V8s in it. Because that's the one that nobody in the US can find over there. I did get quite a bit of interest in the green one that we saw here, but the car's just not nice enough to sell. It needs a lot of work, and he wanted a lot of money for it. What was it, 170,000 pesos he wanted for it?
No me acuerdo.
Something like that. Yeah, that was a lot of money. And this guy put aftermarket gauges on the dash, which is totally unnecessary. Leave the original stuff, just like the Angels had. That's all you need.
It says 400 early replacement because of the false liquidity on cold weather. You can find them.
But how much are you gonna pay for it? Oof. Okay, I think it's time to eat something for us. It's 10:42. Time to eat dinner. So we are gonna sign off. Thank you everybody for being here. We really appreciate the conversation. And Kim, I hope Buff is able to sleep soon. Because it's only gonna be like 4.5 hours that he's gonna be able to sleep. So
thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
good night, everybody.